She can see it.
Oh,
If everyone could mute their device, please, till we get to your case.
that way.
Okay, you looking up the number, ma'am?
Yes.
Yeah, I had her turn her phone off, so she.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't remember anyone's number. We just press it on the phone, right?
Mhm.
All right. While she's doing that, let me make some preliminary announcements. Good morning, everyone. This is the criminal status calendar for March 10th, 2021. My name is Diane Bessen. I'm the judge presiding over this calendar. This is a status calendar where we're trying to get reports from folks about the progress on their case, with the understanding, as many of you may have seen, a day or two ago, Justice Melton signed a new emergency order that permits jury trials so long as they are can be done safely. Fulton County has been working on that for quite a while, and we expect criminal cases to start back up in the next few months. I know I've already got 2 civil jury cases scheduled for April, which are going to be sort of our first experiment, working toward back to full jury trials. So these status calendars they're an opportunity for you to hear the last offer on many of these cases. So we understand whether or not there's a likelihood the case is going to resolve before trial, or we're going to get you'll get a final offer. And then if that's rejected, we're going to be ready to start with jury trials in the next few months. I do want to, is she finished with that? Okay. I do want to also state to everyone on the call, particularly those defendants, that this call, this Zoom call is obviously on the internet. It's also being streamed live on YouTube. And so anything that you say during this call, this calendar is obviously going to be heard by everyone on the call and anyone else who's listening in. And I mention that because you need to be very careful about what you say. On the call is obviously also the solicitors. And if you were to say anything that might be damaging or detrimental to your case, they may be able to use it against you at time of trial. So you need to be very careful about what you say. And that's why I've asked everyone to mute their device. When we get to your case, I will speak to you and or your attorney. And if you need to have a private conversation with your attorney or the solicitor, I'm able to put you in a breakout room where you will be able to have a private conversation. And then after you have that conversation, I'm going to ask you to come back into this main room so that I can get a report from you. All right, while she's finishing that up, let me go ahead and Yvonne Traxel. Has anyone heard from Mr. McGarrahan or the defendant?
No, Evan Watson is supposed to be on the call. He's going to try to take over that case. Okay, thank you.
Hey, good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning.
I'm assisting Mr. McGarrahan. He's got a handful of cases left, it appears, in Fulton State Court. I'm assisting him. He's still got medical leave, but I was able to communicate with Ms. Troxel. I believe it was last week. There was a already notarized plea in absentia in Mr. McGarrahan's file. It was executed by Ms. Troxel. It was not ever apparently filed in with the court. So I wanted to get some direction if we just want to start, if I need to do a fresh plea in absentia, I'd like the solicitor to just look at their file, and it'd be helpful if they give me the recommendation they negotiated, you know?
All right, and that would be Mr. Walker, and he was not on the case when that was initiated. And if in fact we were under the impression that some months ago that was supposed to be just a plea in absentia, and if that paperwork can be, I think it would need to be signed again. It's probably, I don't know, sort of stale, and I would hate to.
It was dated in 2019, so.
Stale is an understatement. So I'd rather get some new documentation, and then if that's submitted to the court, I'll go ahead and sign it. I don't know what the requirements were, but assuming she's well, do you know if she's completed the requirements?
That I do not
right.
know.
I typically, on a reckless driving, just request a fine and a defensive driving course. So if you want to do a $600 fine with with a defensive driving course, that's absolutely fine with me.
Okay. Well, let me just, Mr. Walker, do you have the file in front of you?
I do.
Okay. Do you know what the original recommendation was? And the only, I'm just
I have an
asking.
older recommendation, but considering it's a 6-year-old case, I was just fine with the fine and defensive driving, but I have the original recommendation.
I like Mr. Walker's recommendation.
I bet you do.
I mean, just considering it's a 2015 case.
I know it's, and I know the main reason it's this old is because Mr. McGarrahan has had some medical issues and obviously hoping he's doing better, but I'll let the two of you work that out. I'm not going to get in the middle of it. I think the recommendation was different at the outset, but
It was, Your Honor.
I'll leave that between the two of you. And I know Mr. Watson's doing a favor for Mr. McGarrahan. And so just why don't you two talk? I'm going to put this back on a calendar, a status calendar in the next few weeks, but hopefully you can just get that submitted to me. And assuming everyone is in agreement, I'll get it signed. And so the question is, she would have to come in and she would have to take the plea on Zoom if she's not completed the underlying requirements. If she's completed the underlying requirements and just needs to make payment, then we can take the plea in absentia and get paperwork to her for probation. Okay.
Would there even be probation, Your Honor? If she can make payment in full. I saw
Right,
that
but
apparently.
there's no way. So, and the only way, I guess, is if you actually bring in the check with the paperwork. Is that right, Aisha?
Yes.
So if you get the check and submit it with the paperwork, then she will not have to do probation. I was concerned about her paying the fine. So if you bring a check in with the paperwork, that's all you need to do.
We'll do that. I'll get with Ms. Hardy. We'll schedule that and I'll bring it in personally.
Okay,
Okay.
great. Did you have
And
any other
we'll need to-
cases? Mr. Walker, I'm sorry.
I was going to ask, do we need to calculate the court fees?
Yes,
ahead
I
of
will
time?
get him on the email with it.
Okay.
Mhm.
If you'll
I
just
shall
provide
get
the
that to you.
walkout cost, I'll make sure the check's for the exact amount.
Okay.
Great.
Sounds like a plan.
Did you have any other cases, Mr. Watson?
I'm gonna give Mr. Walker all the cases I have, no matter what order. But I don't have any others on this morning's calendar. Thank
He
you.
was unusually kind with this. I'll all right. If that's it, you're free to go. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Let me go back to Nathan Brown. Let me just text this number, chat this number and tell me, and then I can let her go if this is a number that you didn't have and we're hoping this is the correct new number. Oh, it's 678. I'm sorry. Is that a different number than what you had, Aisha and Jasmine?
Well, let me see. I'm checking right now. Odyssey is so slow. 67843. Yes, that's a different number than what I had.
Okay, so hopefully that's a good contact number. All right, Miss Brown, you're free to go. Thank you very much.
All right, you have a nice day.
You too. Thank you for coming down here. All right, so we're gonna have to reset that to get him back down here. Next matter is Corey Holt.
I have not had contact with Mr. Holt. I left him a message and I do have his email, but I don't think he came on the calendar the last time either.
All right, then it's gonna be a bench warrant. Anthony Blair,
Yes.
you're on the call. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Are you aware of the charge against you? It's a minor traffic offense.
You know what? I honestly forgot about it. Like, I'm still trying to, I apologize. I'm still trying to, I have to find paperwork.
Okay, it's a charge of following too closely. It's from 2015. Would you like an opportunity to speak to the prosecutor? I think that he'll probably make quite a reasonable offer to resolve it.
Yes, ma'am.
And if you're not happy with that, we can discuss some other options when you get back.
I'd be happy to be over with it.
Yeah,
I don't have stuff just crawling out the,
All right, let me just, I'm going to put you in a breakout room with the solicitor, who's Mr. Strobel. You're going to get an invite that's going to say join, and click on that, and it'll send you to a breakout room, and you'll speak to Mr. Strobel there. He's the prosecutor. And then when you're done with that, come back, leave that room and come back into this main room so I can get a report from everyone. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
It'll be breakout room number 1.
Okay.
Trying to find Corey Holt. Oh, is he listed under Anthony Blair?
This is Anthony Blair, so it should be.
That's
Yeah, right
it.
there.
Okay, got it.
I saw the other person.
That's fine. You should get an invite that says join. Click on that. There he is. Thank you. All right. I'm sorry. About 30. About 30. Yeah.
Oh, 30.
Yeah.
Oh. Oh, they gonna be long.
It'll be a little while. Anisha Wilson.
Yes, good morning, Your Honor. That's my case. I believe that Ms. Wilson is on the call.
Miss Wilson?
Yes,
Okay, there you are. And what's the status of this case, Mr. Walker?
yes. Can you hear me?
Yes, but just a minute.
Yeah.
I'm going to hear from the prosecutor, Miss
So I
Wilson.
have that discovery was served and that offer was communicated by Mr. Braxton. I'll let Attorney Coleman speak to their intentions.
That's correct, Your Honor. I relayed that off to Ms. Wilson. She's still rejecting it. We would just reset this for trial.
The
All right, and what was the offer?
The offer
Go ahead.
was 12 months credit for time served, balance to be probated, for Ms. Wilson to pay a $500 fine on the reckless driving charge, to complete a defensive driving class, and to show proof that the damage to the other vehicle was paid. The other 2 charges, improper lane change and driving too fast for condition, were to be non-prossed.
That was
All
my
right.
understanding based on the file as well, Your Honor.
I'm sorry, what was that, Mr.
I
Walker?
said that was my understanding as well,
Okay.
Your Honor.
All right. And so, Ms. Wilson, you've talked to your attorney and you're rejecting this offer. Is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. You're driving right now?
Yes, ma'am. I'm not driving. I'm a passenger in the car.
Oh, okay. Much better. All
Yeah.
right. Well, let me just explain to you that this case will be put on a trial calendar, and we're going to start back with trial calendars. This is a 2016 case, so this will be one of the soonest cases that I do handle. At the time of trial, if you want to enter a plea or you're found guilty of the charges, the penalty will not be any better than this. So the options of more fines, I mean, clearly, I'm going to just be honest, this is not the kind of case I'd send you to jail on. But the offer is quite reasonable, and if at a later time or you're convicted, the fines will be greater, and there may be other requirements by the court. I just want to be sure you understand this is sort of your best offer, and you certainly have the right to take this to trial, but at a later date, if you're interested in entering a plea or you're convicted at trial, there will be, the penalties will be different. Were you aware of that?
I wasn't aware of that, but I understand now.
All right, and you still want to take the case to trial?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Then we will set this down for jury trial. Aisha, will you just, for my benefit, just note on the file what the offer was, so I have an idea when trial comes up that I I mean, I've got it on my calendar, but if you could put a post-it on there that on the, do you have the file with you or no?
No, it's at the office, but I can put it on there tomorrow.
Okay. Thank you. I would appreciate that. Okay. All right. Do you have any questions, Ms. Wilson?
No.
And Your
All right.
Honor, if I may, I don't know
Yes.
if it was discussed by Attorney Coleman and Mr. Braxton, but the state is not opposed to a NOLO. I don't know if that makes a difference to Ms. Wilson. But my understanding, if she pleads NOLO, there won't be any license consequences associated with the charge. If it would make a difference.
I'll speak to her further about it once we get closer to trial.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
All right. But again, I'm not going to accept this offer. I mean, either this is the offer for sort of this week, and even if she changes her mind after this week, I may not accept the plea that way. So that's what I'm letting you know now. Okay. All right. And Ms. Wilson, just be sure to stay in touch with Mr. Coleman. If you have any change of email, phone number, or address, you need to let us know. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Anything further? Otherwise, you're free to go.
No, thank you.
Thank you. All right, Pejman Didivar. Boris Milton,
Good morning, Your Honor.
good morning.
Mr. Didivar is also present and on the call.
Oh, there he is. Okay, and so, he's still in the breakout room.
Here,
Oh,
Your
no,
Honor.
you're back, okay, Mr. Strobel. What's the status of this?
Your Honor, there is a report that is referenced that neither me nor Mr. Milter have been able to recommend from the officer that conducted the field sobriety investigations. I've done a special request to my investigator for us to contact the officer directly and try to get that report, but that's where we are right now. We're asking for just one more status reset to see if we can find that report, Your Honor.
Is this an APD officer?
It's I think it's Roswell.
Roswell.
Yeah.
All right, was there a DVD?
There is a DVD. I've submitted that to him, but yeah.
Okay, and what was the last offer?
Let me pull it up, Your Honor.
Mr. Milter, do you remember what the last offer was? Was it
If-
basic first?
Yes.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah. It was
All right.
basic.
All right. So we're going to put this back on a status and in about a month or 6 weeks. And then this being a 2016 case, this would be one of the sooner cases to go to trial. So just so you're both aware of that. Okay.
We are, Your Honor. We're just trying to exhaust all avenues and make sure everything's complete.
Right. I understand. Okay. We'll put you back on in a month. Obviously, if you get the report and Mr. Milter, your client's interested in entering a plea, let us know. Otherwise, has this ever been on a motions calendar?
No.
Not yet. I don't
You want
believe
to
so.
put it on motion?
Let's put it on a motions calendar because it's a less safe case. Let's do that. All right. Anything further?
Nothing from the state, Your Honor.
No, Your Honor.
All right. Thank you. We'll see you maybe in about 6 weeks on a motions calendar.
Thank you, Your Honor. And maybe excuse, Your Honor?
Yes, thank you. Timmy
you.
Thomas?
I called several numbers for him with no luck. And I did speak with his sister who stated she would give him the message, but he never called me back.
All right, we're going to issue a bench warrant on that. Let me go back to position 3, Anthony Blair.
Your Honor, the state's I've spoken with him because of the failure to appear. He actually did a day in jail. Based upon that, we're just going to null process the case.
Great. Mr. Blair, are you back on the line?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, he's going to submit a no process saying that they're not going to prosecute that. I'll get it signed as soon as he submits it. If you have no further questions, you're free to go, sir.
Is there any way I can get a copy of that?
Um,
I'm sorry. I think he told me to contact the court. I'm sorry.
yeah, Aisha, how would he get a copy?
I'll send it to him once I get it signed.
Okay, she'll email that to you, sir.
Thank you. Some good happened to me today. Y'all have a
I
good
know. Go buy a lottery ticket. Thank you.
I will.
Michael Benning, position 7, Mr. Stein. I did see him on the call somewhere.
I'm here, Your Honor.
Oh, good morning.
Morning.
What's the status of this case, Mr. Walker?
So I have that discovery and the offer was conveyed to counsel and I'll let them speak to what their intentions are, but the state is ready to proceed if necessary.
Mr. Stein?
Judge, I filed a motion to withdraw in December 10th, 2020.
Is Mr. Benning on the call?
Yes. Yes.
All right, can I see your face, sir?
Can you hear me? Can you see me?
No, are you on Veronica's iPhone?
Yes.
Yes,
All right, I don't see you. You're on, let's see if I can adjust that for you. Probably not, but
They have to do it.
My camera is not as good as it should be. Let me see.
Now I see. Well,
Now we
I see
see.
breakfast. There you are. Okay, thank you.
You can see me.
Mr. Benning, were you aware that your attorney wanted to withdraw from the case?
No, I wasn't aware.
Okay, Mr. Stein, did you have a discussion with him about that?
Judge, this is the second time we have filed this motion to withdraw. The first time, I think it was a little premature as far as the trial calendar. We have sent him copies of this. I believe the last time that we had court, I had some internet issues, but he had sent someone to court on his behalf. So I think he knew about it. So
Yeah, I think the last time we had court, you're correct, you had to call in, Mr. Stein, but Mr. Bennett and his sister was on the call. So I think you tried to get back in, but court was over, and you emailed me after court stating to just go ahead and put it on for trial. So instead, I put it on the status calendar to see if you still wanted to go forward as his attorney, or were you going to still try to argue the motion to withdraw?
All right.
Well-
Well, let me back up just a second. I want to just sort of address one thing. I'm looking at the motion to withdraw and I'm looking at certificate of service, but there's no address for Mr. Benning on that. Where was this motion sent? Normally, the address is listed on the motion so that we can sort of verify that, let's see, certificate. And maybe I'm looking, let me see, motion, maybe it's on the motion to withdraw. Yeah, I don't see it on here. Do you know what address you sent it to?
Judge, we sent it to 1177 Constitution, number R1, Atlanta 30315. And that, I believe that is,
Okay, that's the address I've got listed here on the court record. Is that
Right.
where you live, Mr. Benning?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So he's indicating he mailed it to you. I don't know if you got it or not, but
But I didn't sign anything.
He's stating that he didn't sign anything. The motion that was sent was this year. He didn't get that paperwork in mail until February. And that's what we were trying to state with you the last time we was on the phone. He didn't sign anything.
no,
He
I'm
didn't
not, I'm not saying he signed anything, but he did receive paperwork that the attorney wanted to withdraw.
Only paperwork he sent was from the attorney.
Yes.
Right,
And
that's correct.
and it had my brother's signature on it, but he didn't sign that. That wasn't his signature. So it wasn't discussed before this COVID came in person with them about withdrawal. So there was no discussion.
All right.
Judge, I don't know who that is that's speaking. Is that an attorney or is that just an individual?
His sister.
Thank you. All right. Can I would like to just have a conversation with Mr. Stein briefly about what I may do is put the three of us in a breakout room, and I just want to hear sort of privately with Mr. Benning on the call what the basis of the withdrawal is. Mr. Stein, would that be problematic?
Well, Judge, we're saying there's irreconcilable differences in the case. If Mr. Benning objects to my motion to withdraw, I'll withdraw my motion to withdraw.
Okay. Have you spoken to Mr. Benning at all where was the last time you spoke to Mr. Benning?
I've tried to reach him numerous times, Your Honor, and we have a communication problem in addition.
Okay, can I put the two of you in a breakout room right now and let you talk for a minute about the case?
Well, I think if he wants me, its initial question is, does he want me to continue to represent him or not?
Mr. Benning, do you want Mr. Stein to continue to represent you?
As long as y'all have to pay.
I would.
All right, he seems to indicate that he's had a hard time getting in touch with you. I don't know if he has
He ain't had a hard time getting in touch with me. He had my phone number. He not getting in touch with me. He never did get in touch with me. So that's, I don't know what he's talking about. He never did get in touch with me.
All right, I feel like I'm in family. I feel like I'm in family court. Again, I'm going to put the two of you in a breakout room to have a discussion about where you think you want to go from here. And either Mr. Benning is going to continue to be represented for Mr. Stein or not. But it sounds like, and it may be that you just have a different outlook about how the case ought to proceed. And if you can't come to terms in that regard, maybe Mr. Stein is not the best person to represent you, Mr. Benning. I don't know the answer to that. But since you're both here, I'm going to put you both in a breakout room and have some opportunity to talk right now. Okay?
All right.
You're both going to get an invite to join. It'll be breakout room 2. When you're finished, come back here.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. Veronica's iPhone, correct? All right, you should both get an invitation to join breakout room 2. Join, just press join when that shows up. There you go. All righty. They are in, I'm sorry, let me go back. All right, Haley Van Heydrich.
Yes, good morning, Your Honor. That's my case. I see there's a Haley's iPhone on the call. I don't know. I guess that's Ms. Van Heydrich.
Yeah, that should be her.
Hello.
Yes.
Hi. I just walked outside. This is me, Haley Van Heydrich.
Me proof that he had surgeries.
Okay. And did you get where does this case stand, Mr. Walker?
So it's my understanding that discovery has been filed and offer has been extended. Otherwise, the state is ready to proceed.
All right. And the offer was to do what?
Give me 1 second.
Did it involve DVIP?
It did. It was 12 months to serve 60 days, balance probated, FVIP or DVIP, no further contact with the victim, and parenting classes.
Actually, Your Honor, the last offer was for Ms. Van Hydrich to do 8 weeks of anger management and a mental health evaluation. At that time,
if Attorney Coleman would like to send something to me in writing, I will be glad to consider it, but that's not what I have in the file currently, Your Honor.
well, I understand that was an offer at one point, but that offer did change on the last court date. We had agreed that Ms. Van Hydrich was going to do a plea in absentia. I did send her the paperwork, and then shortly afterwards, we spoke, and she expressed that she no longer wanted me to represent her.
That's correct. She also sent me an email and spoke to me, and I told her she would have to address that in court with the judge.
Well, I would consider that offer rejected then. But
All right, so Miss Vanderick?
Van Hydrich.
Van Hydrich, I'm sorry.
You're fine.
Is that correct? You no longer want Mr. Coleman to represent you?
Yes, and I just wanted to provide a little detail. I realize that I do not yet have a private attorney, so I just I wanted to briefly state something just to give you the status of what I'm doing. So basically, if I can, I'm currently and actively trying to raise funds to afford a private attorney. I would very much so like to do my best to fight this case because the suggested charges do not accurately represent who I am. I am a very passionate sociology student who would be content with explaining this incident with my mom with the help of a lawyer. I was assigned a public defender, and after our email messages, I know that our pairing might not be a good fit. I have reached out to several attorneys who are based both in Atlanta and Athens, who suggested, after giving them detail and surrounding context to the situation, that I actively search for someone who is a good fit and who also has a counseling price that I can afford. Currently, I'm enrolled in 5 classes in school and set to graduate in 3 months. I am also currently saving money to afford a private attorney. And this is just a little side note. And again, I do realize that I am speaking for myself when I say this. I'm a student at best with plans to attend Stanford Law School. I'm working with one of my professors right now on a campaign in light of implicit bias. She has allowed me to replace my coursework with my campaign work. There are elements within my studies as well as elements that go alongside with my relationship with my mom that I would not be opposed to discussing either with you, with a newly assigned public defender or a private attorney.
Okay, so let me just, I know nothing about the particulars of your case because it's not come in front of me for any motions. You do not get to select your public defender, unfortunately, because it's a service we provide. If you're unable to afford to hire an attorney, we appoint a public defender to represent you. And if you are unhappy with his or her representation, you're certainly welcome to find independent counsel. The problem is this is a 2018 case, and I can afford you a little time to hire an attorney, but I'm concerned that if you have not been able to hire one all this time, that you're not going to be financially in a position to hire someone within the next 3 to 6 months when this case would appear for trial. So, despite what your plans may be, and it certainly sounds like you're obviously in school and there are seem to be some wonderful aspects of your personality and your life going forward, this charge is still pending and you're going to have to address it probably within the next, as I say, 3 to 6 months, it'll come up for trial. If I let Mr. Coleman withdraw, I will not be able to reappoint him later on if you're unable to find an attorney. And so you need to really be aware of that, because if the case comes up for trial and you don't have an attorney to go forward, you're going to have to go forward on your own without counsel, because we already did provide you with a public defender, and you, for whatever reasons, rejected that benefit from the state. So I'm happy to let him withdraw. You know, the last offer. And I don't know. So the victim, Mr. Walker, is her mother?
Let me check.
Mr.
That's
Coleman?
correct, Your Honor.
Okay. All
I
right.
believe she was on the call the last status conference that we had.
Okay, and I have no idea if she's interested in testifying against her daughter or not. I don't know if I don't know any of the facts. I don't know if there's a video or a 911 call or any of those things that even if she decided not to testify, that might still be admissible by the state in order to prove their case. So I guess the fact that there was initially an 8-week anger management offer, I don't know if, and I guess she did not qualify for PTI. Is that what we're saying?
She did not, Your Honor. And
All
at
right.
this point, I've stated earlier, that's not the offer I have in my file. And since she has not accepted it at this point, I consider whatever offer that they have as rejected. And the current offer is to serve 60 days along with FDIP.
All right. And again, so that tells me that there's some sort of, Ms. Van Heydrich, that I don't know anything about the case, but based on that offer, it tells me that you have had some other criminal offenses similar to these that they're recommending some jail time. So that's all I've got to go at this point. I'm trying to pull up your case file now.
Okay.
But I guess you need to have one final conversation with Mr. Coleman about whether or not you want him to continue to represent you or not. Because again, once I release him, then that'll be that, and you'll be on your own.
Understood.
And that is correct, because the defendant does have significant history.
I do not.
Okay.
Meaning I do not want Mr.
okay.
Coleman to represent me.
I just had one question for Ms. Van Heydrich. So, are you still at the Coney Street address in Athens, ma'am?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, having heard from Ms. Van Heydrich and expressing that she no longer wants the public defender to represent her, I will be filing a motion to withdraw, and I'll be forwarding that to Ms. Van Heydrich on tomorrow.
Okay. All right. Yeah, and just based on what I'm seeing, one, at least in Fulton County, one prior.
I stopped reading after the ag assault, so I'm not.
Well, that's the only one I'm seeing here in
Okay.
Fulton County. I don't know.
There's other jurisdictions.
There may be other jurisdictions. So
Yeah.
that obviously is an important part of why the recommendation's been made. And so the only other thing I'll say, Ms. Van Heydrich, again, I know nothing about the particulars of this case, but if you are found guilty, you understand that my potential sentence is going to consider the entirety of your previous criminal history.
Yes, ma'am.
I just want you to be aware of that when if the case goes to trial and you're not successful, there is a downside for you, because I would be considering whatever, and maybe you've turned your life around now, and that's obviously great, but I'll have to consider the entirety of that when it comes to sentencing if you're not successful at trial. I just want you to be aware of that.
Understood.
Okay.
Your Honor, if I may, I don't mean to interrupt, but just on behalf of Mr. Coleman, I just want this defendant to be quite clear, as you stated, that she already was appointed, Mr. Coleman, who's my co-counsel, because she's deemed indigent. But if she, again, is not able to raise these funds, I just want her to be made aware that the public defender office is not a revolving door to assist her, that we were here to assist you now. And so she is voluntarily waiving this counsel. And if she's not able to afford private counsel, that Mr. Coleman will not be representing her. I just want that to be made clear, because she hasn't stated any legitimate reason as far as his competency, his ability to do the work, which we all know he is an excellent attorney. So I just want to make sure that she's quite clear that should she not be able to afford counsel, that she's not crawling back to Mr. Coleman for his expertise.
Yeah. Thank you, Ms. Counts. Again, I had several conversations with Ms. Van Hyders. I'm satisfied that she understands the situation, and she's made it quite clear that she does not want me to represent her.
All right, so if you'll submit the paperwork, and will you copy her on that, please?
I will.
Mr.
That's why I want to
Coleman?
confirm her address.
Right.
Again, I will be in the office tomorrow, so I will draft the motion to withdraw at that time. I will forward it on to you, and I will put a copy certified mail for Ms. Van Hydrich on tomorrow.
All right.
The last request of the state is that the defendant picks up any discovery that was previously served to Mr. Coleman.
Could you state that again? I'm sorry.
If the defendant can pick up the discovery that was previously served.
Well, I will send her the copy of the discovery that I have.
Thank you.
That would be great. Thank you. All right. Anything further, Ms. Van Hydrich?
I would just like to ask, how long would you be willing to give me to raise these funds?
Well, I'm going to move this. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to move this case to a trial calendar. We're not starting trials for another few months. This is a 2018 case. I do have some that are a little older than yours, but so I don't anticipate this coming up for trial for probably, what is this, March? Probably toward the end of the summer. But when it wouldn't come up for trial till at least probably July or August. But once it starts appearing on a trial calendar, you're going to need to have counsel.
Okay. All right.
All right. Please stay in touch with the court if you have any change of email, phone number, or address. Please let us know. It's your responsibility to keep us updated on your whereabouts. Okay.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Were there special conditions, Mr. Coleman? I guess no further violent contact. There wasn't a stay away.
There was actually no further contact.
Is there no further contact with the victim?
Yes, I don't believe that they're staying in the same city. Miss Van Hydrich is in Athens, Georgia. I don't know where her mother is residing at this time.
Could I say something?
Possibly.
Okay, so me and my mom, we talk every day. I do still live in Athens. I attend UGA. She lives in Atlanta with my daughter, Taylor, who is 7, turning 8 soon. But we talk every single day.
Okay. Right. Well, man, I don't think it's the best interest to say anything further regarding the contact between you and your mother.
Yeah, by that court order, you're not supposed to have any contact. Now, if you'd like to make a request for it to be no further violent contact,
yes, ma'am.
Well, I can't do that today, but you may want to just, again, you're proceeding probably without an attorney, but every time you have contact with her under the existing order, you're potentially violating the court's order.
Okay. Is there a way that I can email you some further, surrounding evidence, surrounding context?
Nope, I just can't. Okay. It would be improper for that to be submitted to me. If you want to have a conversation with Mr. Walker, the prosecutor, he may be able to advise you, and not necessarily advise you, but that may be helpful in moving your case. You can deal with him directly. Okay.
Okay. All right.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Let me go back to Raymond Stein's case. I see he's back on the call. Did you have a conversation with Mr. Benning? And I'm not sure I see Veronica's iPhone. There it is. Breakfast. Okay. Mr. Stein, was that helpful or not?
It was, Your Honor. Thank you. I believe my client is at this point of the mind that he is consenting to my motion to withdraw.
All right. Are you going to be able to hire another attorney, Mr. Benning?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. We'll fill out the motion to, I will sign the motion to, the order permitting the withdrawal of counsel. You need to get another attorney. This is a 2017 case. We will most likely be handling this case sooner than others. I would say sometime midsummer. So work on getting an attorney. Please stay.
If I may, I don't know if Mr. Benning is interested in speaking with me, but since it is a 2017 case, it is a possibility we could resolve it. But obviously, that's only if he would.
Yeah, we can. He can tell me he can speak with you about it because we really trying to solve it because it's just a lot of stuff,
I understand. It is a DUI collision. However, it is a 2017 case. So at the appropriate time,
Do you want to speak with him now or not?
If you will allow it, Your Honor, if they agree.
All right,
to it.
I'm going to put you both. So what's going to happen is I'm going to put Mr. Benning, you should see on the device a place to re-enter breakout room 2. I'm not sure if you're going to find that.
Judge, if I may.
Yes.
Yeah, he said.
If you could re-enter room 2, and Mr. Stein, you're free to go.
I just want to
Okay.
add one thing, Your Honor. My client is unemployed, so he may qualify for a court-appointed attorney as well.
Okay.
No, sir. No, sir.
They're not gonna do that.
That's not gonna work. No,
All
sir.
right. Well, let me just send
Yeah,
Mr.
unfortunately,
Walker to room 2. There we go. We'll move on to the next case. Thank you, Mr. Stein.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, they should be in there. Position 9, Ivana Van.
Yes, Your Honor. That's
Her
my-
notice was returned.
Yeah, that's my case. I have a number for her. I've called that number several times. I'm unable to leave a message. I do not have an email address for her. I
right, I'm
think
gonna
it's
issue
been
a
some
bench
time
warrant.
since I've been in touch with her.
That's fine. I'm gonna issue a
Yeah.
bench warrant, and if she gets in touch with you, please notify us and I'll consider withdrawing it.
And the
Next-
notice was returned.
Latrice Wright, that's Miss Ellwinger's case.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning.
I guess
Oh, this is Mr. Walker's case. Let me just ask, do you have an announcement? He'll be back shortly, but
yes, Judge. You may or may not recall what the issue was she had another case pending, same charge. And we were waiting on that case to be accused and to see if she was going to retain me on that case. Both of those things have happened.
okay.
So I will file an entry in the new case if we can get discovery on it. We're going to try to wrap up both of the cases.
All right. And is the other case already assigned to me? Do we know, Aisha?
I don't have the other case. Do you know the case number for that other case? Because the last time it wasn't accused yet.
Yep. Let me find it. And Judge Bessen, it was assigned to you. I do recall seeing that.
Okay.
What's the?
So when I'm going to, let me see if they've got another case listed here. Parties. Latrice.
They're not gonna have it. Sometimes it is, sometimes it isn't. We may have to look up her name.
It's here. It's 21 CR 000-635J, and it is assigned to me.
Okay.
So we'll get those both together. I'm going to, when Mr. Wright, not Mr. Wright, Walker gets back on, we'll tell him that you are representing the defendant on both cases and that you'll be in touch with him.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, so get an entry filed in that. And did you have any other cases on the calendar?
No, Judge.
Okay, unless you wanted to stay and watch more of the excitement on from courtroom 3D, you're free to go.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you. Jameer Daniel, Charles Wardlaw. Is there counsel on this? I didn't see anyone. Is someone else representing? Is there an announcement? Jameer Daniel.
I have not heard from the attorney, and the notice was returned for the defendant. I don't even know that attorney.
Okay.
And I believe this happened last time as well.
All right. I don't want to sort of take the time now with everyone still on the call trying to find this out, but I may have to do a rule nisi.
Okay.
To get him to appear. So let's see, parties, Charles Wardlaw. Aisha, maybe you want to try and call this phone number right now if I send it to you? His work
I'm
number?
looking it up. I'm looking it up now.
Okay, because I've got it here. Maybe you can call him and tell him we need him on the
Okay.
call. It practices in Marietta, so it's not someone that I'm particularly familiar with either, but
okay.
Let's try that. But otherwise I'm gonna have to do a rule nisi for this. Mr. Walker's not back. Okay, Mario Oliver, Miss Moses Counts.
His notice was returned and his number is incorrect.
Yes, that was what I was going to say, Your Honor. So I was going to ask for a reset. I prior to this had good contact with Mr. Oliver, so I'm not sure if the pandemic has affected him in some way, but my notes, I have good notes. He always called me throughout this last year. It's actually been a year today that we were sent home from our office. And I've had good notes of contact with him. So
all right, I'll give you one reset. But if not at the next calendar, I will do a bench warrant. Obviously, if you get in touch with them, and I know a lot of people, you know, as you say, because of the pandemic, lost their job, or they're homeless, or they don't have a phone anymore. And so this case is probably the least important thing on his mind. But I mean, I don't know if that's the case, but certainly one more reset. If he doesn't show up the next time, I'm going to have to issue a bench warrant.
Thank you.
Ricky Dunn, Daryl, this is your case?
Yes, Your Honor. And Mr. Dunn is on the call.
Good morning, Mr. Dunn. Oh, he's a Falcons fan. How can, it's painful. Are you related to the other Dunn?
I wish I was. I have a lawyer.
All right. So what's Mr. Coleman? What's happening with this?
We're going to have to reset this for trial, Your Honor. The last offer that was made included jail time, actually significant jail time, 120 days. Balance to be probated for Mr. Dunn to perform 12 weeks of anger management, have no further contact with the victim.
So this is Mr. Walker's case. I'm going to ask you just to wait a few minutes. Just Mr. Dunn, if you could just wait a few minutes till the prosecutor gets back on. And I just want to verify that everyone's on the same page, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Let me just indicate report to Mr. Walker. He should be back soon. And then I'll have Mr. Coleman make that announcement. The next case is supposed to be a plea. It's also with Mr. Walker. Lisa Mayo. Is there? I see Miss Mayo is on the call. Let me come back to that because
Okay.
I don't know who's representing her. Is that supposed to be a plea today, Aisha?
I believe you reset it last time to see if it was going to be a plea, but I'm not sure what Mr. Walker and Attorney Friedman discussed after that.
Good morning, Judge. Aaron Friedman here. How are you this morning, Judge?
I think it was Mr. Braxton.
Doing well. Yeah, Mr. Walker is the current solicitor and he's in a breakout room. I don't know, were you able to negotiate a plea on this or not?
Yes, Your Honor. It was reduced to a reckless. It will be a plea. My client has completed everything. She is just recovering. She is online. She is recovering from COVID, Judge. I haven't been able to get her the paperwork from the state yet to do the plea.
You said she's completed everything?
Yes, Your Honor.
So can you just do a plea in absentia, get the paperwork in with the check for whatever the fine is?
I have to find out exactly what that amount would be. But yes, Judge, if we could do that, then we can resolve this case and take it off your lengthy calendar.
Great.
Is it $1,000 fine?
Let me go back and pull what it was.
Well, let me just say, why don't you get with Mr. Walker and Miss Hardy and get some definitive Is it $1,000? Do you know now?
It's
or-
1,000 on one and a failure to maintain fine of 300. And I was going to ask if they'd merge it, but I have not asked that question, Judge.
All right, so you'll need to get with Mr. Walker, but clearly if you go ahead and she's completed everything and you want to submit that with the plea in absentia paperwork, neither one of you will have to be back on this call. And, you know, you can bring the check down with the paperwork to our office and that'll complete everything without you having to appear again.
That would be great, Judge. Thank you.
Okay.
I was dealing with Miles Braxton. Who is the new solicitor?
It's Ian Walker. I know Miles was here. We just worked him in and got everything going great. And he took off for greener pastures.
I know. I hope they'll still honor. I have an email with the negotiation. I'm assuming the state will still will still allow it, but
as long as you've got some proof of that, Mr. Walker's been honoring previously submitted negotiations. So I don't think that'll, here he is.
There he is.
Sorry, I'm back.
Hey, Mr. Walker, how are you?
Let me just say, Ian, we're on position 14 right now. Before I
Okay.
get a report from you, Mr. Friedman represents Miss Mayo. He said he worked out a plea with Mr. Braxton and everything. She's apparently completed everything. And we were just going to do a plea in absentia. He's going to bring the paperwork and a check down to the court, and that would resolve the matter.
Okay, I'm sorry. I think the ambulance is driving past my apartment. But I would like to state to the court what I have on file as what the recommendation was. And it was 12 months probation, a $300 fine, 40 hours community service, risk reduction, alcohol and drug evaluation. And
there's supposed to be $1,000 fine on the reckless.
Fine. So
on the reckless.
Yeah, it's on the rec list. So I guess a total of $1,300 fine. Is that what you had?
That's what Mr. Friedman said.
Okay, that's what I have. And it is to a reckless. So we are.
Okay, and I just think he wanted to discuss maybe
Ask you about
merging one of the charges into the fine. And I don't object to that, but I'm going to leave.
If it's been reduced to a reckless, I mean, that's fine.
Okay, I'm not sure what that means. So are you saying?
It was initially a DUI that was reduced to a reckless, I believe. So what charge do they want to merge?
The failure to maintain lane, the $300.
There's no objection to that. That's okay.
Okay, so it'll be just to the reckless. We'll get the paperwork for plea and abstention. What would be the total fine amount with that $1,000 with court costs?
$1,420.
$1,420.
Yes.
Okay, we will get that paperwork to the court.
And just get proof of whatever else she was supposed to complete with that, and then get the paperwork in, and we'll be good to go. And I won't have to see you again, and you won't have to suffer through. It was like family court today, right?
Yep.
All right.
Judge, I don't want to cause any more domestic problems. May I please be excused?
Yes, thank you. Thank you, Ms.
you
Mayo.
very
You're
much.
free
Y'all
to
have a
go.
wonderful day. Ms. Meow,
Let me
you can
go. Let me go back to Mr. Benning's case. Is that who you were speaking to, Mr. Walker?
That is correct, Your Honor. Is Mr. Benning back on the line?
Yes, he is.
So I did have the opportunity to speak with Mr. Benning. I did give him an updated offer with the expiration date. I gave him 7 days to accept the updated offer. I gave him my contact information, and he said he is considering it and will let me know by March 17th.
By March what?
17th.
All right. Did you have any questions, Mr. Benning?
No.
All right. So get in touch with Mr. Walker if you're willing to accept the offer before the 17th. Otherwise, the case will be put on a trial calendar. You'll need to hire additional counsel, and we'll see you probably sometime toward the end of the summer for a trial date. If you're able to work something out ahead of time on the plea, Mr. Walker will arrange for you to be back on a call like this in about a month or so. We'll take the plea virtually, and that'll resolve the case. Okay?
All right, thank you.
Please stay in touch with the court, sir, if you have a change of address, email, or phone number. All right?
Oh, yeah, all right.
Thank you. Yes.
All right, thank you.
Wait. Do we have all his
No.
current information?
Yes, no, it's not for his case. He's free to go.
Okay, thank you. You're free to go, Mr. Benning.
All right, thank you.
Aisha, you wanted to mention something?
Yes, I did speak to Attorney Wardlaw, and he said he didn't know he was supposed to be on the call because he spoke with the prosecutor, but he's going to get on the call before we're done.
Okay, thank you.
Mhm.
And let me just, since I'm going through these, Mr. Walker, position 10,
Okay.
we had Miss Ellinger on the call. I let her go. She made an announcement that she was waiting to find out about a second pending case for this defendant.
Okay.
We do now have a case number on that. Would you like that number?
Yes.
It's 21 CR 000-635J. So that is with my court. She's
Okay.
planning to enter appearance on that second case, and we'll be in touch with you about resolving both cases.
Okay, perfect.
And I don't know, to be fair, I mean, there should be a discussion about DUI court.
I agree, and I will have that conversation with Attorney Elway.
There you go, because
And I think we
technically
did
when there's a
before.
second, we're supposed to automatically refer them to either Judge Edline or Judge Taylor. So
I think you went down that route with her before, but she wasn't interested.
okay, well, if the case gets transferred to Judge Taylor or Judge Edline, she might be interested.
Okay.
Well, I'm the former DUI court prosecutor, so I will have.
Oh, you can have that discussion. Okay,
Attorney Elwanger.
great, thank you. We have Ricky Dunn, position 13, and I believe he was supposed to speak with Mr. So he's on, this is your case. Daryl is representing him.
Yes, we were gonna just reset this matter for trial. The last offer that was made was 12 months or 120 days. Bounds to be probated for Mr. Dunn to perform 12 weeks of anger management, have no further contact with the alleged victim, and to stay away from the incident address.
That is what I have, Your Honor, and since the defendant is not accepting the offer, I will consider it rejected, and it very well may be a different offer at trial.
All right, just so, yes, Mr. Dunn, good morning.
I'm sorry, ma'am. I was trying to plead to the prosecutor because I don't think my case is being understood for what they're offering. That was 738 Church Street was my address where my kids stayed. I came home.
Well, just a minute, just a minute.
Don't speak about the facts of the case, Mr. Dunn, on the call.
Yeah, I don't want you to talk. I don't want you to talk about the facts of the case on the call, because something you might say could be used later at trial, not to your benefit. So you have to have those conversations privately with Mr. Coleman. And as has been pointed out, I mean, he's been in my court for
5 years now, actually.
at least, yeah.
You're the prosecutor, sir?
No,
I'm the prosecutor, sir.
Mr. Coleman is your attorney.
Oh, is it possible that I can plead to the prosecutor?
You want to discuss the case with Mr. Walker, the prosecutor?
Oh, well, let me ask you, Mr. Dunn, are you considering entering a plea of guilty to the charge, or do you want to go forward with a trial? Because up to this point, you were not willing to accept the offer. It's not an offer that I would advise you to accept.
Okay, go ahead. Not guilty.
Yeah, so we would just proceed to trial at this point, Mr. Dunn.
Okay.
I just want you to be sure, Mr. Dunn, that you're aware that the offer you got today is sort of as good as it's going to get. I'm not saying it's a great option for you, but if you go to trial and you're not successful, or sometime between now and trial, you decide you want to enter a plea, the offer you get to resolve it will not be as good as it is today. That's just what I want you to be aware of. It could have, if you're found guilty, and I don't know anything about the facts of the case, potentially there could be a recommendation for more jail time.
Didn't the prosecutor just state he had a different recommendation?
Well, for purposes of today, the offer was 12 months for you to serve 120 days in jail, meaning that you would have to serve 60. I'm assuming that you don't want to do any jail time on this case, sir.
You can't afford to. I have custody of my kids.
Right, which is why we would be resetting it for trial at this point.
Okay.
So, and the only other thing, I don't know the facts of a case. I don't know what his history is. Because he's got custody of his kids, there may be something else that could be worked out, and maybe you and Mr. Walker could be a little creative about, as opposed to jail time, given that fact. But I'm going to leave that with you gentlemen. I'm not going to get into the weeds of that right now because we've got a lot of other people on the call. But let me just say that that's something that maybe I would be amenable to. If he's a parent and got some kids he's got to be, working and providing financial support for, maybe there's some other option we have here in terms of home arrest when not at work. So I don't know, but let me just throw it out there as a possibility. Okay.
So just Mr. Dunn, just be aware, trial is likely not going to be for another 3 to 6 months. And we will speak closer to the trial date regarding your final decision as to whether you actually want to go forward, if you want to work out some type of deal.
Okay.
All right,
Is there contact with you?
I'm sorry, Mr. Dunn.
I was speaking with my public defender.
Yes, sir.
I was wondering if there was some kind of way I can get in contact with him.
Yeah, I will email you. The email address I have is ricky.dunn@yahoo.com.
Yes, sir.
I will email you after we finish this conference call.
Thank you
with my
very
contact information.
And just Mr. Dunn, be sure if you have any change of email, phone number, or address to let Mr. Coleman know. If we can't get in touch with you for court, my only option is to issue a bench warrant for your arrest, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. You're free to go, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
I see Mr. Wardlaw is on the call, position 11. And I know, good morning.
Good morning, Your Honor. I want to apologize for being tardy this morning.
That's okay. I think Miss Hardy said that maybe there was a misunderstanding about whether or not you had to appear. This is Mr. Walker's case. Had you both spoken before today?
Yes,
we have not spoken, but according to my notes, discovery has been served along with the offer, and the state is ready to proceed to trial if necessary.
Yes, Your Honor, and we have to announce. We will announce ready. Your Honor, we're ready for trial.
Okay, and just to be sure that you conveyed to your client that this is sort of the last best offer they're going to get. You weren't on the call earlier, but we are. Justice Melton's order has now permitted jury trials to start under conditions provided it's safe for the public. Fulton County is starting back with jury trials in the next month. And so you can anticipate this is a 2018 case, one of my older ones, not oldest, but I would estimate that or to guess that we're looking toward maybe late summer or fall when we can get this on a calendar for trial. Okay?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Anything else?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Wardlaw, your client's notice was returned. So could you email me his new address when you get a chance?
Okay, yeah, let me write that down. I have to take a note. Yes, I will be able to do that.
Yeah,
right,
either email her or put it in the chat, either one. Okay?
Okay.
Thank you. You're free to go.
Thank you, Your Honor.
The next position is Mr. Yeager's case, Mason McConaughey. Good morning.
Good morning.
Did you have a discussion with Mr. Strobel about this? Oh, we lost him.
I received an email from Mr. Strobel with some amended accusations. We are still waiting on the video from the state in this case. I'm not sure if he has said that they were trying to send a link via Dropbox. We haven't been able to get the video on this yet through them.
I did send. There should have
the
been a
last
Dropbox.
time.
Justin, go ahead.
Yeah, there should have been a Dropbox links included in that email that I sent.
Okay,
If you
I'll
scroll
have my
down, I
tech
forwarded an
person-
email, and then I also included him in the Dropbox thing. It should come from like teambessen@gmail.com if he needs to check his history.
Yeah, I see Team Bessen, sgteambessen@gmail.com. We just haven't been able to get into the link, and we're on Dropbox Business too, so I'm not sure what the issue is, but I've got my tech people looking into it. I would ask, Judge, this case, the state is on terms. The last time this case was on for motions, the state requested through mischallenge or a reset. We stand ready subject to motions in the case. But obviously I need to watch the video before I can advise my client in terms of whether or not he should accept the negotiated plea that's now been tendered by Mr. Strobel. So I'd ask the court to hold the offer open for 2 weeks so that we can view the video and make a decision on that front. And as it stands, we announce ready subject to our pending filed motions.
Your Honor, I'll hold it open for 2 weeks. And we'll try our best to get on the video. I might resend the link. Probably just need to set this case down for a motions date.
That's what we'll do. We'll set it down for motions. We actually had our first live motion yesterday. So we're ready to gear that up. We can do them virtually if you're agreeable to that, or have you come down to court. So we'll get it on a motions calendar in the next 6 weeks, and hopefully you'll have the DVD by then, be able to discuss your case with, I see your clients on the call, and we'll see where we go from there. Okay?
Thank you, Judge.
Anything further?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you. You and your client are free to go. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor. Have a good day, Judge.
Thank you. The next case is, and just 1 second. I want to make sure. I think that was the last private attorney. I've got David Jones listed, Jay App. Let me just scoot to that. I'm sorry, folks, but I'm going to try and just get, I know the rest of you sort of have to be here. Let me jump to position 23. It's Mr. App's case, Kachiska Frias.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Good
Ms.
morning.
Frias is present on the call. She just waved hello. Judge, we had filed an immunity motion in this case back in July of last year. So we also need a motion state. I believe we've gotten all the discovery from the state. I've talked to the solicitor this morning about possibly resolving it. We'll continue to try to do that, but at this point, we just need a motions hearing.
All right, Mr. Strobel, is that correct?
That is correct, Your Honors. Like I said, I sent him a Dropbox link, so apparently that one worked on the videos for him. So, all
right, we're going to get this on a motions calendar then, probably within the next 6 weeks. I have any discussions prior to that. I don't know the victim.
The victim is
obviously a family member. I'm saying the victim is apparently a family member, so I don't know if the victim's going to be available to testify or not, but I'm sure you'll work that out.
The victim has contacted my office several times, indicating that he wants the charges dropped, Your Honor.
Well, and maybe you should have that discussion with Mr. Strobel. Sometimes a written letter to that effect is, if they're not here at motions, it'll make it difficult to go forward, but I'll leave that with you gentlemen. Okay?
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. Y'all are free to go. And let me just also, I see Mr. Jones is also here. Dennis Worthy is the position number 24.
Good morning, Judge.
Mr. Jones.
Judge, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I just wanted to get a report from you. This is Mr. Walker's case. Have you folks, it's an abandonment. So whoa, this should be pretty easy. Either it is or it isn't.
Well, Judge, my client is still in custody. He's in Decatur County CI. His sentence there expires in April of next year, but he is being considered for a halfway house, so I may be able to get him in court sooner. I have not received discovery, partly because I did not file a discovery request yet, but I will today or tomorrow.
All right, and I guess there's a challenge. I mean, I don't know if we can order just a DNA test and be done with this. I don't know. Is there a challenge that he may not be the parent?
I wasn't aware of one, Your Honor.
Okay.
And
So
Judge,
I
I was hired after he'd gone into bench warrant, so
okay.
and while he's been in custody, so
nonetheless, once counsel files his entry or demand for discovery, I'll make sure that he's served with discovery, and I understand that he has been in custody. If they're amenable to working something out, the state is always ready to resolve cases, especially from 2017.
I am always ready to talk.
All right. Well, why don't you gentlemen try and do that then? I'd hate to let this be open until April or May of 2022. So I may put this on a status
for like 2-3 months.
Right. That's what I was going to say. See, we've been working together too long, Aisha. So we can at least check up and see where we're at, and if he's in a halfway house, or maybe you folks can have some discussions about getting this worked out. Okay?
Right. And I
Absolutely,
just
Your
sent my
Honor.
cell phone number to you, Attorney Jones. So feel free to call me
Oh, you emailed it to me?
in the chat.
Oh, okay.
Thank you.
All right. Anything further?
Nothing from
No, Judge, may I be excused?
Yes, thank you. All right, the next case, excuse me, is Taurus Eccles, position 16.
Yes, Shauna, that's my case. I have two numbers for Mr. Eccles. The first number is disconnected. The second number I placed a call and it was rejected. I was unable to leave a message, and I do not have an email address for Mr. Eccles.
Same announcement.
All right, we're going to issue a bench warrant. Position 17, Brandon Barkley. Jasmine, this is your case?
Yes, Your Honor. I have not been able to make contact with Mr. Barkley. The number on file goes to a voicemail of someone speaking Spanish. Yeah, so I don't believe that that's still his phone number. And from my notes, this case was appointed to me from SAP at the time prior to the pandemic. So I didn't really have contact. I spoke with him one time, I believe. So yeah, I don't know.
I don't have anything either.
I don't know what you would like to do.
Well, at this point, I'm just going to issue a bench warrant.
I'm not sure if this case has come up yet. Is this its first time since we've been shut down that this case has come up yet?
I don't.
Because I had the paperwork. I went off the paperwork in my file instead of just going off Odyssey to contact him, and I still didn't have any contact with him.
Okay. Because
and the notice was not.
You said the notice was returned?
No, it was not returned.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm just going to issue a bench warrant. We're getting ready to have, these. I think the efforts made by everyone to contact people has been, as particularly by Ms. Hardy, has been sort of extraordinary. And so if after all those efforts, if we don't have somebody show up, it's because they have not notified us of their current information. The next case is Matthew Barrett, also yours, Ms. Moses Counts.
Yes, he's on. It's the phone number at the bottom, 404 number. Your Honor.
Hello, Mr. Barrett. Good morning.
Hi, good morning. I got kicked off accidentally.
Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Barrett.
So your attorney's here. Let me find out what the status is.
Yes, Your Honor. We filed a motion that I very much so intend to go forward on, a motion to suppress ID based on the report. There's nothing in the report that even corroborates that my client was present at the scene of this incident. And then my client also has some alibi evidence that I sent to Ms. Challenger prior to Mr. Strobel. I'm not sure if it's not in the file. It should be. But as you know, the emails archive after a while. And so I'm trying to recover that documentation via email. If not, I'm going to have Mr. Barrett resend me that information. But my client is a stylist for rap artists and was at the BET Awards the day of this incident, not even in the state. I believe that it was in Miami. And so that information I had provided to Ms. Challenger. And so I'm hoping that it's included in the file. That would make this a lot easier.
I did not see it in the file. I did see a note saying it would be provided, and it's not in Odyssey, and there's no notes about it in Odyssey. So if you can find it, great. I'll follow up.
I'll do my best. I'll do my best to try to receive it. If not, I'm gonna have to get Mr. Barrett. Mr. Barrett, I do remember prior to the pandemic, he was attempting to provide me proof of his airline ticket, but the airline ticket was purchased via someone else in his camp. So again, I'll do my due diligence to try to provide that, but I still would like to go forward on this motion. So if this could be reset for motions.
That's fine.
And it could be that you get an affidavit from one or two people that can attest to his presence in Miami. That would certainly, I'm not saying that the state might want to try and refute that, but that certainly might make Mr. Strobel look at the case a little differently.
Right. And just to give a quick background, my client is a celebrity stylist and who goes by the handle Parrish Che. And so if you look him up on Instagram, he has quite a following, and he is in fact around celebrities. And so I personally, as I spoke to Ms. Challenger, thought that this was just somebody just trying to be messy or create issues with him because of his celebrity status or his attachment to celebrities. And so, again, I have no problem working with you, Mr. Strobel, to provide you that documentation. Hopefully this case can be.
Yeah, just send me any handles and stuff you want me to look up like that, and I will. And if in documentations, I'll look over it.
Okay.
So I guess we're going to put it on a motions calendar. That'll be the
Yes.
next step. So let's do that. It'll be within 6 weeks or so. Mr. Barrett, if you have any change of email, phone number, or address, please keep your attorney in the loop. Well, it might be resolved before the motions calendar, but at least we'll have some way of coming back around to this case in about 2 months so we can keep track of it and see where it's going to go from here. Okay, do you have any questions, sir?
Not today. Thank you very much.
Thank you. You're free to go, sir.
Thank
The
you,
next-
Mr. Barrett.
The
Thank
next
you,
case
Bye.
is Ranjina Baratsai. Baratsai.
Yeah, I believe it's pronounced Barsai. Is that correct, ma'am?
Baraksai, yeah.
How do you
Yeah,
pronounce your name?
It's Baraksai. It's pretty hard to pronounce.
Baraksai.
Yeah.
Got it. Where are we at on this?
So according to my notes, I had that the defendant previously rejected PTI. So with that being said, the state is ready to proceed with trial.
Is that correct, Mr. Coleman?
She had previously rejected, but she would now like to be reconsidered for PTI.
That's not an option at this point.
Oh, I sort of
Why
hate
not?
to hear that.
Because once you're rejected, you rejected, the offer has been rescinded. So
So
Yeah,
you
Ms. Mel,
cannot
that's
speak
not
to
like-
Nancy Ma about her being reconsidered?
I could, but I
We didn't reject. What happened was you guys said that one anger management program was like for 3 days, and the next one you said was like 8 months. So we were kind of trying to figure those things out. Then the last hearing that we had, they were saying that he lied on some documentation, so we were going to figure that out and then go from there.
Your Honor,
That's
this
kind of
is
what.
ready to proceed with trial.
All right, well, let me back up a minute. If Mr. Coleman's client is interested and was previously admitted to PTI, I'm,
No, she wasn't admitted. The offer was made. She had rejected it at that time because of the amount that they wanted her to do. But since that time, she's spoken to me. She's actually trying to, I believe you said you were trying to get into the military. Is that correct, ma'am?
I have to start my clearance process soon, but I need the charges to be settled in order to start to finish the investigation, because you can't have any pending charges. So this has been going on since 2017. So I want to see what we can do to get things settled.
so I'm going to ask Mr. Walker to kindly reconsider, perhaps, especially if she's considering going into the military. I mean, I know it's something I never wanted to do, and I'm grateful that people want to do it on my behalf. So maybe you can speak with Mr. Coleman and we can do something to sort of move this case along and let her get clearance for the military and give her an opportunity to do PTI. That's just a court request.
I will take the court's request under advisement, Your Honor.
Okay, and I understand there's certain things that your certain procedures your office operates under, and I understand, but maybe you can, because she's interested and started the process to be admitted to the military, that maybe your office can make an exception.
Understood.
Okay, I'm going to put this back on a status for about a month, and maybe something will be worked out by then. So I'll encourage Mr. Coleman and Mr. Walker to stay in touch and just request if there's any change of email address or phone number, ma'am, that you let your attorney know. Okay?
Okay.
And thank you, Ms. Barsai. Once I've had an opportunity to speak to the prosecutor, I will be in touch with you.
Okay, if you could please call or email me sometime this week.
Well, as soon as I hear something from the prosecutor, I'll be in contact.
And I would
Okay.
just say, obviously I can't make any guarantees now, but if the defendant has any paperwork from the Army or from the military that perhaps could help in the request to reconsider the defendant's PTI, just a friendly suggestion.
So if you have any information regarding your admittance to the military that you could forward to me, ma'am?
Or at least your consideration, I think that would assist in the request for the re-review.
That's fine. I'll go ahead and email you, Mr. Coleman, and we'll go from there.
All right, thank you, ma'am.
Yeah, I
Okay.
think they're going to look at this much differently if in fact you are trying to get into the military. I know we do usually try and accommodate folks who are looking to resolve their cases under these circumstances. So if you have any documentation that verifies that, get that to Mr. Coleman, and that's going to help the process. Okay? Thank you. You're free to go.
Yep.
Position 20, Anthony Howard.
Your Honor, that is my case. I was appointed to this case from the state all-purpose counter when it was set to a jail jury. I don't believe I've actually met Mr. Howard.
No one has any contact information, Aisha?
No,
I
his
have
notice was
several
returned.
notes in my file where I've tried to call him on the number that was in the file.
That's fine. I'm
I've
just
never
going to
heard
issue.
anything back.
That's fine. I'm going to issue a bench warrant. The next case, Tommy Atkins, Miss Moses Count, same announcement.
Yes, for me.
Yes, but even more so, Your Honor. Last time I was told from Ms. Challenger was that this case was going to be upgraded, and so I was just awaiting.
Oh,
yeah, because of the co-defendant case.
Right, it's a co-defendant. The co-defendant, the daughter, was charged with the felony, and my client was charged with the current charges, and then the girlfriend was also charged as well with a misdemeanor. So I was last told that he too was going to have his charges upgraded.
I'm not disputing what she was told, but I have no documentation on that file. It doesn't look like the case was ever submitted for upgraded in our office right now. When I looked over it, I didn't see anything that would upgrade it to a felon, his charges to a felony. So I think it's still pending in our office as just regular misdemeanor.
Okay.
Why am I showing? Oh, that was a final plea calendar. Okay. So the accusation was amended back in the beginning of 2020, but that's all I've got here.
Okay. Yeah, I haven't spoken to Mr. Atkins. I've said this every time since he's been, I think this is the second time at least that he's been on the calendar.
I think we have October, yeah.
The last time we were on, the other attorney, I guess, for the girlfriend, who's I think conflict counsel was on and told me that he was it Mr. Shaw, if I'm not mistaken. That he had been in contact with at least his client, but I have not been able to reach Mr. Atkins. So don't know what to do with this case, Your Honor. At this point, I don't know.
I'm just gonna issue bench warrant as best as we can and move on. Obviously, on any of these, when you hear from your client, you can certainly ask me to withdraw the warrant if they're willing to make an appearance. The next case is Vonda Jackson. I see she's been on the call for quite a while. Miss Jackson, good morning.
Good morning.
Yes, good morning, Your Honor. With Miss Jackson's case, the notes I have from July 23rd of last year, the case was reset status to see if the state had been in contact with the alleged victim.
I don't have those notes, but the state is ready to proceed with trial.
So we would just reset this for trial. Then the last offer that was made was for Miss Jackson to perform a theft class and 20 hours of community service.
Has she not done any of that?
Well, no, because she was rejecting the offer.
Oh, okay. Is that right, Miss Jackson?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And I mean, under the circumstances, if she was willing to just do the theft class, I would, you know, I've been very lenient on the community service because of COVID, but if that doesn't change anything, I understand, and we'll set it down for trial.
Yeah, I could be wrong, but I think the theft class is online and maybe only 1 or 2 days at the most.
So I would ask you, Ms. Jackson, given the representation that Judge Bessen has just made, would you like to do the theft class? And again, is this in exchange for a guilty plea, Mr.
No,
Walker?
I'm not, oh, I'm sorry.
That was
Or do you just want to proceed to trial, ma'am?
I mean, that's fine because from what I was told that you all was gonna have a communications because in reference to the case, that was the last time I was told that I would hear something back by September, August or September, once we had the trial. I mean, once we spoke with the judge and they were asking, had they spoke with the defendant and got in contact with her, and everybody said no, they hadn't spoke with her, and it's supposed to. So
Well,
no,
Mr.
I'm not gonna admit to something that I didn't do.
Okay,
No.
that's fine, ma'am. But I just want to clarify that Mr. Walker has just been appointed to this case from the solicitor's office, so he doesn't have those notes.
Okay.
So we'll just proceed on the trial then.
All right, and let me ask, has the state been in touch with the victim in this
Like I said,
matter?
Your Honor, the state is ready to proceed with trial. We are ready to proceed.
All right, because I just,
Your Honor, there has been victim contact, so we
Thank
have
you.
located them.
As I stated, the state is ready to proceed.
okay, there we go. That's all I wanted to
And,
find
you know,
out.
The defendant does not have to accept the offer, of course. I just want the defendant to understand that the offer will not be the same.
Okay. We'll set it down for trial. Anything further, Ms. Jackson?
No, ma'am.
All right, thank you for your patience today. I know you were on at the beginning of the call. I'm sorry we got to you so late. I think you're our last person. Thank you. You're free to go.
No.
Thank you. The last case I've got is Daisy Bodie, position 25.
And yes, Sean, that is my case. Again, this is a case I was appointed to from the state all-purpose counter when it was sent to jail jury. I don't think that actually met Miss Bodie.
That's correct.
On
And I
last
have-
Monday, I attempted to call her on a phone number that I found in the file that I was provided. There are actually 2 numbers. One is disconnected. The other number, I was unable to leave a message.
Correct.
All right, the only thing we can do is issue a bench warrant with the address we have. That's all I can do. All right, I think that completes the calendar. So I think what we're gonna do is just read through, I guess, Ms. Carter, you're free to go if you'd like. We're just gonna read through the calendar and thank you.
Okay, thank you.
All right, position 1 is going to be a plea in absentia. Hopefully Evan Watson's going to get the paperwork in on behalf of Mr. McGarrahan. Position 2, bench warrant. 3, null pros. I guess that paperwork will get sent to Aisha. Position 4, set down for jury trial. Position 5, set down for motions. Position 6, bench warrant. Position 7, there's an offer. Well, Mr. Stein is going to, well, actually, I've got it.
Mr. Walker.
I'm sorry?
He's going to accept the offer by March 17th or not. He's supposed to be accepting the offer or rejecting it by March 17th, correct?
That's correct. March 17th.
Right, but I need to also, how do I go in and get that order signed for Mr. Stein to withdraw?
I'll have it for you tomorrow.
Okay. Actually, you know what? I can pull it up and sign it and have Deb scan it in. I'll do that.
Okay.
Position 8 is set down for trial. Position 9, bench warrant, no contact. Position 10, there's a second case pending. Miss Elwinger is going to be representing Miss Wright on both cases. Position 9, ready for trial. Position 11, ready for trial. Position 12 is reset. I'm giving Miss Moses Counts 1 reset on that on behalf of her client. Position 13 set down for trial. Position 14, reset for a plea. Hopefully that'll be a plea and abstention worked out ahead of time. Position 15, waiting on the DVD, Mr. Yeager. Hopefully, Dustin, you'll get that worked out, and we're putting it on a motions calendar. Position 16, bench warrant. Position 17, bench warrant. Position 18, Ms. Moses counts and
Motions.
yeah, we're going to put that down in motion suppressed, but hopefully some paperwork will get exchanged before then, and there may be an adjustment to the charge, or maybe it'll be no prost. Position 19, she's rejected PTI. Oh, I'm sorry. We're going to maybe get so let's put that on a status calendar. Yes, and then maybe she'll be in PTI by then. Position 20, bench warrant. Position 21, bench warrant. Position 22, reset trial. 23, we're putting on the motions calendar for the immunity motion. Position 24, we're going to put it back on a status calendar in about 3 months. Position 25, bench warrant. That's it. How'd we do?
I'm sorry, the add-on calendar, Nathan Brown, you know, that's the case that the state was asking to revoke the bond on, but he got released from the Superior Court case. And his mother was in court. Ms. Moses Counts was on the phone with him. I just wanted to make sure that he was going to get you the proof of his surgery.
Yeah, he said that he emailed it to me, but he just called back. I told him I haven't received it. He's doing it off of his son's phone because his phone he was trying to call in, but he doesn't have email for me to send him the link. So he was trying to send me pictures. So I'm working with him. So yeah.
Very good.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, everyone. I'll see you all tomorrow.
Thank you. Judge.
Yes.
Judge.
Yes.
Before you go.
Yes.
Somebody's going crazy.
Hello, Miss Harmony. How are you?
Good.
You doing good? How's
Say
school
bye-bye.
going?
Oh.
Ah.
It's a
Oh,
challenge.
see, now they're quiet. Now she's quiet, right?
Exactly.
Exactly. All right. Well, maybe I'll get to see you here in person soon. Okay, Miss Smiley. Bye.
Okay.
Be good to your mama.
Bye.